Hello, friends and beautiful people. It is Kathryn Ascended. What am I doing? Elevated Consciousness Coach, 5D Visionary. Hello. All Things Ascension, Episode 3. Getting a little bit of a late start here, so let's see who's going to jump on. Bit of technical difficulties here today, but we're going to get it moving nonetheless. Let's see who's going to jump on live. And if you are watching either on my Global Acceleration of Ascension group or in that group, hi Meredith, or you're checking this out as a replay on my YouTube channel, these episodes are weekly. I do them live in this group. Hey, Crystal. And the replays are available in this group as well as on the YouTube page. If you're watching on YouTube and you want to join our group, the name of our Facebook group is Global Acceleration of Ascension. We are getting ready to do our third live virtual summit the weekend of February 5th through 7th, right in my Global Acceleration of Ascension group. We need presenters on all things Ascension. Hi, Kathryn. We have over 30 presenters when we do this live summit. It's very dynamic and engaging. We have people, hi Budri, we have people from all parts of the spectrum presenting on all things spiritual and Ascension related, from the beginner to the well-seasoned initiate of spiritual mysteries. And if you want to come and join us as part of the audience, again, the name of the group is Global Acceleration of Ascension. Please come join us. We start February 5th and it'll go through the 7th, 2021. We are going through another major portal and shift and pivot point in the first week of February of 2021. So this is a great time to do this event. And again, if you want to be a presenter, you're welcome to join us. And there's a sign-up sheet in our group. Just tag me in the group if you're interested in that, or go to the files section of the group and sign up. So hello all who are joining. We are in our winter solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere. And it is an absolutely beautiful day here in Tahoe. I live in Northern California in Lake Tahoe. And it is magical here today. The sun is beaming so bright and so glorious, and right after this I do have a DNA activation that I'm doing, but I'm going to try to sneak out for a little bit and get out in the sun before I do that, because I'm getting the pull to be out in the sun a lot today, and especially after we complete this transmission here in this call, because there is an activation at the end of this discussion. Happy solstice to you too. You'll really want to be out in the sun, because we're going to be doing, I don't know how it's going to go down. It's going to be very free flowing in the moment, but we are going to be working with the fully integrated solar energies, the sacred fire of the solar marriage of the divine feminine and divine masculine, bringing back integrity to a timeline that was wiped from our history, our cellular memory, but it is coming back, and I'm going to explain about what all that is, what the solar feminine is, why there is this rising of this energy now on 12/21 and the solstice. And then we're going to be doing an activation together to raise the vibration, fully awaken this in the planetary collective. So welcome to those of you who are joining live. You're going to want to have water with you here today. We are working with solar energy here, so it's fiery, it's burning away, it's purifying. So have lots of water today to clear this energy and continue the purification process, okay? To wash away. And I want to say something before we get into it here. Be prepared to have things come across your path, come into your radar, that are going to challenge the way you've thought about who you are, who we are collectively as the human family, about our true, accurate historical timelines, or timeline in total, about structures that maybe we've taken for granted, and this could be, planetary structures, satellites of the Earth like the moon. Things are going to come into your awareness now that are going to challenge what you have thought and believed before. This is the nature of moving into a different frequency. This is the nature of fully accessing and anchoring and keeping the new timeline, which has already shifted for us. Being open, being willing to at least hear someone out when they have new information to bring to light is going to be really important for you going forward. And to the degree that you hold, I'm not saying believe everything, okay? I'm not even saying believe everything that I'm going to say today. You're going to have to take what I'm saying to your place of truth and figure out if it's true for you. Because ultimately that is the truth that matters in this lifetime. Yes, there is a higher spiritual truth, but if it doesn't resonate for you, it doesn't resonate for you, period, the end. You have to be, especially as we are moving forward and progressing on this ascension timeline, you have to be in the highest level of discernment for yourself and for your own truth. With that is the caveat that you are being invited to accept or at least allow a higher spiritual truth to unfold that maybe does challenge you. Because growth is about challenge, folks, okay? Growth doesn't come without it. And when we're talking about spiritual growth and we're talking about opening our eyes to things that have been veiled to us for a very long time, deliberately omitted from our timeline, because if we had known it, if we had been allowed to anchor it, be that, know that, we would have had a legacy where we would have been much more powerful beings, much more sovereign, much more empowered in our lives. And we wouldn't have believed so much and put so much stock in a lack and scarcity paradigm, which has been the prevailing theme on this planet for thousands of years, okay? So I'm inviting you here to listen with an open heart. I invite you to call in your higher self, your God, sovereign self aspect of being, to help guide you through this discussion. And let go of the ego personality that doesn't like change, that has no business sussing out something that hasn't been known before or done before. The ego personality has no dominion over what is not known. The ego personality only has an ability to work with what is known and what has been, what is familiar. So you need to kind of let yourself shed that aspect of self while we talk about this here today, okay? And again, this material will be challenging for some of you. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest, okay? Give me some hearts if that resonates with you guys and you hear me and understand what I'm saying. Take what resonates. We're all adults here, okay? If you don't like what I'm saying, you have the free will to go and leave and do something else, okay? This is for those who are hungry for a different level of knowledge and are willing to challenge themselves, okay? Hi, Christine. If that's not you, that's okay. Hi, David. Okay? There's plenty of other things in Facebook land to explore today, okay? Especially today. So we are celebrating with this timeline shift, with this frequency jump that we've just completed. We are completing because everything is now. We are celebrating the return of the solar feminine. We are experiencing a restoration of the integrity of the Christos Sophia creation template. Hey, Becky, I'm going to tell you what that is. Don't worry, I'm going to discuss what that is. We are going through a shedding of the lunar woman, the lunar body, the lunar distortions. I'm going to explain what that is too, in order to anchor the true solar feminine Christ. Let me explain a little bit, giving you a little bit of a backstory. Everything in creation, everything that is created in reality that goes from the formless to form, from non-local, non-dual into material. Everything that gets created has a creation template. It is either in accordance with a certain divine sacred geometry, which has to do with base 12 mechanics. If you're in my timelines level 2, I go into what base 12 and base 10 mechanics are. 12 is a divine number. 12, we think of 9 as a completion number. 12 is the real completion number, and we don't fully understand the number 12 yet here on this planet, but we're beginning to. The number 12 is a baseline and a foundation for the creation of all material manifest form in its organic template, meaning it comes directly from the divine. We have another instruction set for creation. It is a non-organic artificial template that works off of base 10 mechanics or base 10 geometry, which is geometry that isn't necessarily sacred, okay? We have been suffering for a long time from creation templates that have been distorted. This is why we see things on the material plane that are out of integrity. They don't resonate in the sonic vibrations of the beautiful harmonic convergence in the universe as it was intended, okay? The creation template that we are meant to work with has masculine and feminine principles in divine balance. One is not lesser than the other. It is fully egalitarian. It is fully balanced. It is fully in integrity. When this happens, there is a harmonic vibration. It's a sonic template because the universe is sound. If you want to think of the very beginning of the universe, it really was a sound. It was a sonic vibration. It was a sonic boom, okay? Without this being in full integrity, we have distortions that ripple throughout all creations that are known everywhere. I'm talking about not just here on Earth, but the universe, the cosmos at large, okay? These masculine and feminine principles have been out of balance for a very, very long time. This is going to really challenge you here, so take a deep breath or drink some water. We have a solar masculine Christ and we have a solar feminine Christ. But we have been learned out of that and we've devolved from that. There have been, I'll give you a brief amount of history here because this goes way down deep in the rabbit hole and we're not going to do all that today. So I'm giving you the abridged version of all of this, okay? Just so you can digest it a little bit easier. We had 2 sons. We had 2 sons for this planet, okay? There is a solar feminine Christ and there's a solar masculine Christ. We have had wars over the timelines, or who would be the controllers of the timelines of this planet, for thousands and thousands of years. There's now some archaeological evidence, and there has been for a while, and there's been debates and talks about, from mainstream archaeologists, about what this layer of the Earth is, but you'll find it throughout the entire planet. It is a layer of scorched earth, looking like something left over from a nuclear holocaust. This is just evidence of one of the timeline wars that have happened on this planet. There are a lot of fingers in the pie in terms of who wants to be the ultimate controller of this planet. A lot of different star nations, galaxies, people, representatives, let's just say, or founders. Not all the founders of this planet were in full integrity. There have been a lot of wars waged about who was going to control this planet, okay? And in one of those wars, that second son was destroyed, okay? This threw off a lot of things for the planet. It's still through how I suss out this information, which is I remote view timelines. I kind of sift through like a Rolodex because I know what I'm looking for at this point. I remote view different timelines to look for, let's just say, evidence, okay? And then I take it to my guides, I take it to my place of truth, I do pendulum dowsing, and I find out okay, what level of truth are we working with here? What really happened? And then I go deeper down the rabbit hole and sift through those timelines. That's how I find out this information, if you want to know. But when this second sun was destroyed, it threw off, obviously, all of the gravitational pull of the planet. It threw off the magnetosphere of the planet. It threw off it threw the poles off. The axis shifted. A lot of things happened. It did contribute to one of the ice ages and one of the floods. We've had many massive floods here on this planet. So it had, you know, a lot of collateral damage. And so some of the founders of this planet who were in integrity did something that they could do to stabilize. And that was working with our moon, which, yes, is the satellite. And it's semi-artificial. It's a semi-artificial satellite, meaning it wasn't our moon to begin with, but it was brought in so that it could stabilize this planet and correct a lot of distortions that took place after our solar feminine sun was destroyed. But when that was put in place by the founders who were in integrity, anytime there's, you know, planets that are within each other's gravitational pull or field, okay, a magnetic field, there is a matrix that is shared between those two places, okay? So when the moon was put in place and stabilized to create a matrix, meaning these two planets communicate with each other, they share information with each other, okay? So when I say it's a semi-artificial satellite, our moon, what I mean is this. Yes, it was brought in from another place. It wasn't originally our moon, so that it could stabilize our planet. So that was a good thing because we needed that, okay? And it was going to preserve life or bring back life and be able to preserve a new level of life as we sort of know it today. But when that matrix was put in place, anytime there's a matrix or a line of communication between any planetary body, there's an opportunity for it to be tampered with. So as a result, just like we have tamperings with our ley lines, our grid lines, frequency fences on this planet, some of you may know them as seals, okay? Holographic inserts, it is negative alien software, it is artificial machinery, it is false ascension software, okay? They are usually implanted or put in deliberately as inserts, seals, etc., in these matrices where we share information with different planetary bodies. And we've had a lot of tampering with the matrix and a lot of lunar distortions between the moon and the earth for thousands of years. And what has this contributed to? A dark mother body. But we've been kind of swindled into thinking that it's this sacred lunar woman where we have the cycles of the moon. And again, this is going to challenge some of you, especially those of you who like working with the moon and like working with the moon cycles. And the 4 stages of the moon are very sacred to you. And, you know, you feel an affinity or a pull towards the moon. I'm not saying that the moon is all bad, but it isn't fully in integrity either. Okay? It has been tampered with for a very, very long time. And what it has tampered with is our direct gnosis. Okay? Because there's something about the solar feminine Christ that when it's in integrity, we have a direct line to gnosis. And another way to talk about gnosis is true knowledge and wisdom and a direct spiritual experience with God. And what that means, this gnosis for us, is a direct spiritual experience with the God self within. Because God is not out there. God is not some nebulous etheric being that is out there pulling all the strings. God is in here. Okay? But if God isn't fully balanced and in integrity in here, all of your manifestations and creations out there are also going to be distorted. And so this creation template, which is the Christos Sophia creation template, has been distorted because we've had a long lineage, a long history of having the solar feminine Christ basically taken away from us, kind of transplanted, but out of integrity, and then a lot of tamperings with those principles that represent the solar feminine Christ for thousands of years. So take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and just kind of Let yourself settle into that for a second, okay? So what we're doing right now, and I'm going to give you a little more backstory on this in a second. We are reawakening a timeline of our collective intention and a rededication to the sacred marriage of the divine masculine and feminine, okay? We are opening up also this timeline of direct gnosis, experience of the God self within, and we are making a steady advancement towards freedom and liberation from the devolved self that came from this lineage of, and if the female is going to be distorted, then the masculine is going to be distorted. Do you understand that? Yes, they are engendered principles within us because we express ourselves as male or we express ourselves as feminine, but we all have this Christos Sophia template built into our cellular coding. It is part of our silicate matrix DNA, meaning it's the unfuckable with DNA because it's always been there. It's part of our code. It is part of our language of who we are as divine human beings, but it has not been able to be able to express as a genetic potential until now. Okay? And I know there's a comment here from Becky that's good, because she always has great comments. We need to start connecting with the God self and stop relying so much on anything outside. Yes, absolutely. This is exactly what I'm getting at here. So we're really, with this timeline shift, and we've already experienced it, we are experiencing it. It's a massive timeline shift on this planet, okay? But the way things arrive in density here, you know, because it happened in 12D, 13D, 14D, 15D, and beyond, time moves at a much more accelerated rate in the higher dimensions. That's just the nature of harmonic time compression as you move out in the higher dimensions, okay? And for it to arrive, all the benefits to arrive in density of 3D, it takes a while. So just because you don't feel like these cataclysmic and wonderful events of spiritual awakening today, yeah, it doesn't work that way, okay? But this shift is here, this upsurgence of genuine heart-based love of all sentient beings for plant, animal life alike. This is happening, this is here. This world collective soul alchemy through reuniting the genetic equal of solar masculine with solar feminine. This is happening. This is the risen Christed Sophia that we're talking about. True gnosis, okay? Because Sophia represents that. This is happening. It has happened. It's now, okay? We are opening up all the esoteric mysteries that are associated with that, meaning the false mystery schools or the mystery schools that held information from the lunar distortions. And I'll talk about what those look like in a second. But those mystery schools that were based on lineages of lunar distortions of the lunar woman, which is a dark mother complex, those are just naturally dissolving and falling away because we're still crippled by a hangover of that here on this planet, okay? A lot of mystery schools maybe were created in integrity at first, but they fell out. They had a fall from grace, okay? It is because of these lunar distortions, okay? It is because of the false woman. It is because of the fact that when the feminine principle got transplanted onto the moon, it was seen as secondary. It wasn't seen as a genetic equal. So this through the whole creation template, which is known as the masculine feminine principles in balance, the Christos Sophia manifestation template. Of course, that whole thing is going to be out of balance then. Of course, it's going to affect the masculine principle then. Of course. And of course, this is going to affect all the manifestations and creations on this planet. Of course. Okay? But this is being corrected now. So there's an opening up of esoteric mysteries around the Christed feminine solar Sophia, the Gnosis Sophia. Everything associated with that. We are opening the deeper vaults of spiritual knowledge. So things that maybe we hadn't even been able to access in the Akashic are going to start coming up now. Things that we have not been able to access in the halls of Amenti, which is like the inner earth vault version of the Akashic records, where a lot of deeper mysteries are held. The reason why these are opening up is now we're finally in a vibration where we can jibe with that, where we are the frequency equivalent of it. So those esoteric mysteries can finally meet us where we're at, or we can meet them where they're at. Okay? Does this make sense? I'm going to explain some more, but we are opening deeper vaults of spiritual knowledge. We are opening up in our cellular memory where our DNA has been tampered with. Okay? We are opening up the timelines of our true, accurate human history, historical timelines here on this planet where we've had heightened psychic and spiritual capabilities. This is all opening. Okay? We are experiencing corrections in our DNA instruction sets so we can embody the true Sophianic template. And this is going to, by default, correct distortions in the divine masculine aspect of this creation template. It has to, because one informs the other, always, always. These are engendered equals. When one's out of balance, the other one is too. You better fucking believe it, okay? So we are embodying the Sophianic template, correcting distortions in the masculine template just by default. We're holding the Hieros Gamos manifestation template, which is another way to say the Christos Sophia template, in perfect balance. This is the sacred fire. This is the sacred marriage of true organic masculine and feminine principles, held in balance. This is coming back to us now. We are a frequency equivalent to access this now. This is the secret sauce for all of our earthly creations going forward in this timeline, in this new earth timeline shift. How exciting is that? I mean, can you guys grasp what I'm talking about here? It's big. This is big, big stuff. Big, big stuff. So up until now, we've truly been distorted by lunar architecture, okay? Again, I'm talking about those base 10 mechanics. Base 10 mechanics versus base 12 mechanics. Base 12 mechanics is the true organic sacred geometry template of all things created and formed that are in integrity with the divine. Base 10 mechanics look like base 12, sound like base 12, sorta, seem like it at first blush, but it is the perfect alchemy to hold things like artificial software, Ascension software that is not in integrity with our true organic template of Ascension. It can hold things like seals, frequency fences, holographic inserts, things that distort our genetic potential and our genetic expression. This lunar architecture and these distortions have held a secondary mother code, meaning it is not in balance with the true organic masculine principles. It is not the Sophianic risen Christed Sophia template. It is not that. It is secondary. It is lesser than. And this is the template we've been going off of. And for women, we embody, now men embody this too, but women embody it differently, okay? And we have embodied this shadow form, this shadow body form, which is a reversal. It's tampered with coding. So those goddess rituals that we've created around the moon, the lunar woman rituals, the crone mother, the maiden, the mother, all of those are secondary. They are shadow body distortions. And I'm sorry to burst the bubble for some of you. Not everything about the moon is bad. It does a lot for our planet to help stabilize us. It really does. But the matrix, the line of communication between the stellar body, which is, or the planetary body, which is our moon, which is our satellite, how it communicates with the earth has held distortions in it for thousands of years. And this has created the way we think about women, the way we've embodied our own female self has been distorted. And it's been kind of a shadowy caricature of who we really are. This was hard for me to take in at first. So I sympathize with those of you who are like, what the F is she talking about? I get it, because I have struggled with this, and I've sat with this for so long. But if you want a bigger backstory about the lunar distortions, I have a YouTube video that I created, and it's called Correcting Distortions in the Lunar Matrix, where I talk a lot more about the lunar matrix distortions, and I'm just going to share that here in the comments because it's an eye-opener. I know this stuff is challenging. That's why I said this caveat at the beginning, okay? And disclaimer, there's so many comments I'm missing here. I'm so sorry. Hi, Tiffany. Seems like the base 10 is more evident. It's easier to see. Absolutely, Becky. You're completely correct, because that is what we see. But that's the abnormality. We've only been swindled into thinking that that is the normal mechanism for creation and the template for creation. It's not. It is distorted, it is tampered with, and it allows for all kinds of artificial software and false ascension mechanisms, holographic inserts to come in. Pamela says, yes, total reversal distortion, yes. Many of us have naturally shifted away from all of that. The work now is really God's self. Absolutely. I don't F with the moon anymore. I mean, it's pretty up in the sky, but that's my only relationship with it. You know, up here in Tahoe, when it lights up the night sky, it's incredible to look at, but I don't F with it other than that. It feels completely different to me now. Completely different. So I'm sorry, I'm trying to find my live here so I can share this. There it is. So here's that video that I mentioned where it gives you a lot more backstory about the lunar distortions. But what I want you to take away is it has created and has perpetuated a secondary mother code, but it is a shadow body form of the mother principle. It is not the true organic mother principle. It is a reversal. It's tampered with coding. So you can learn more in the Correcting Distortions in the Lunar Matrix video that I just put up in the comments there. So this new timeline shift is allowing us to embody the correct codes. So in our DNA, in our silicate matrix, meaning in our divine human blueprint, this is, yes, our etheric DNA. It's also called a silicate matrix. We have codes. They're called rod and staff codes. This is the original instruction sets that we hold. We've always held. We've never not held them for expressing the true potentials of divine masculine and divine feminine, respectively. They're called rod and staff codes. We have this in our DNA. These are reawakened in this new timeline shift, okay? So the masculine and feminine principles, the expression coded in our ancient DNA, and we have every one of us has ancient DNA because we've all been here a long time. Those of you who identify as old souls, 100 million years minimum is how long you've been around. Yep. Okay. Ancient DNA. This is coded in there. It's part of that template. So as part of the silicate matrix DNA, these rod and staff codes, they've always been there. The true expression, meaning the genetic potential to fully express who we are in perfect balance and integrity with masculine and feminine principles intact and balanced, and a harmonic sonic template that creates, think of it as when you are having masculine and feminine principles expressed through your DNA, and you're genetically expressing that potential, meaning everything that you're living out, everything that you're creating, all of your ideas, all your imagination, your creativity, where you take the formless and make it into form. You have a harmonic convergence in your very own DNA template. This creates a sonic template, and it's almost like casting out the sound from you as a soul being of Om, which is the creation sound to the universe. It's that perfect balance. This is the feminine Christ rising. And without this happening, this could not happen. Okay? What I'm talking about. So this new timeline shift is allowing us to embody these rod and staff codes. We're merging back into the language that we're meant to express from our soul. This genetic expression that was always meant to be, but we devolved from because of several factors. Negative false ascension alien software on the grid and ley lines in the magnetosphere, because the matrix between the moon and the earth affects the magnetosphere, and the magnetosphere affects our beliefs, and it affects our thought forms. Okay? So literally the way we think about who we are as humans, and those of us who think about who we are as women, has been affected, distorted, has been a distortion, has been a shadow body thought form, and the beliefs that we hold about being women. Again, not everything about the moon is bad. It does stabilize us here. There are benevolent founder races who still have good intentions and are still operating on the moon as a base. You could call it as on the dark side of the moon. And working to help devolve these distortions or take away these distortions. Because now that we're in the frequency, it's like they've got the green light to make certain changes, because the benevolent races have a hands-off policy with this planet, meaning they let us exercise free will. Unless we want to blow ourselves up in a nuclear holocaust, because that can't happen, because it has a ripple effect throughout the cosmos. So that's when they'll really interfere, okay? But when we are in a certain vibration, it's almost like we are in that free will zone where we're saying yes to this up-leveling. So they're able to do a certain amount of things for us, these benevolent races I'm talking about. So they're removing distortions from this matrix as we speak, okay? They have been. They've been working on it for a while, but now their work is a little bit, they've up-leveled a little bit with the work that they have to do. And I mentioned also, because of several factors, we've devolved from the organic mother principle. Many ancient wars that have been fought on this planet over who controls the timelines on this planet, okay? That has created distortions on this planet. Our moon was destabilized. So benevolent founder races are still stabilizing this a lot, okay? So within that matrix, the original matrix that was put in place when we had the solar feminine sun, just because it doesn't exist, this is a very important thing. So take a deep breath here, maybe have a glass of water. I'm going to have a drink of water. I mentioned because of the removal, literally the destruction of the solar feminine sun, which threw off the whole organic creation template. Just because this sun doesn't exist in physical form anymore doesn't mean it still doesn't have a holographic projection for us and still holds those original codes, the staff codes. Because if you want to think about it this way, the solar masculine moon holds the rod codes that directly speak to our silicate matrix DNA, where we hold those codes. And the staff codes in the original feminine sun, which has been destroyed, speaks to our silicate matrix DNA. But just because it doesn't exist in the physical anymore doesn't mean that it still doesn't have a holographic projection. Because everything is now, okay? I feel like a mad scientist right now, and I probably look like one. Everything is now. Everything is now. So essentially there is a timeline where that solar feminine sun does exist, okay? And just because we can't see it, and we're not privy to it necessarily in this now dominant timeline for the planet, doesn't mean that we can't merge that potential. This is why if you like time and timelines, you will love the class that I teach, because we talk about this quite a bit, about merging timelines. And essentially when we do this activation today, that's what we're going to be doing. I just lost my feed here. And I'm going to get to your comments, guys. I swear. So in the holographic matrix of this sun that has been physically destroyed, it is still communicating to us, okay? Not all holographic inserts are bad, okay? There are a lot that create distortions and tamper with the planetary balance and our human individual balance in our bodies. But not all holographic inserts are bad, okay? This is a good one, okay? But this kind of upsurgence of this energy is one of the massive upgrades we are ready for now. As we've just experienced this massive timeline shift, we are experiencing a frequency jump and elevation. We're experiencing the activation of this sun, okay? The ethereal essence of it is still very strong and still holds a very powerful vibration. And we're anchoring this. So essentially, we are merging a planetary timeline where we already have these codes. We already have the full essence of this sun because we're in a vibrational spectrum now where we can allow it to come in, where we can resonate with it and anchor it and have it. And we are bringing this, if you want to call it an energetic carryover potential, into our now dominant timeline. And this is what we're going to do today in the activation too. So in the activation today, we're making this conscious connection with this timeline where all this yumminess that I'm talking about exists, okay? We're consciously activating the cellular memory where we are holding this in our silicate DNA so we can transmute it and make it physical for ourselves and the planet. We're also merging the diamond gold sun. So we have the diamond crystal sun, which is a highly masculine energy. But the diamond gold sun is another way to talk about the solar feminine Christed consciousness rising. It's like we're merging these two suns into one with this activation too. It's powerful, you guys. So this is going to bring things back into divine balance for the Christos Sophia Manifestation template. It anchors the next harmonic octave vibration sonic template of our ascension process and upgrades the entire matrix of the planet and everybody on it, because our DNA directly communicates with this planet. If the Earth upgrades, we do too. You know, when they sent the first astronauts out into space, something started to happen once they got past our magnetosphere. All sorts of things started to break down, progressive deterioration in their body. They started to go crazy, okay? And the scientists realized is because we communicate so powerfully with the actual DNA of this planet. The magnetic resonance, the frequency of this planet is tied to how well our DNA doesn't work for us. It is our whole program system. It is our whole motherboard. And when we move away in a certain amount of thousands of miles from this planet, our DNA, unless it's somehow artificially augmented, which is what they figured out how to do for the astronauts, we start to dissolve, essentially. We fragment, we fall apart, we deteriorate, okay? So when the Earth upgrades, so do we. When we upgrade, so does the Earth. It is a symbiotic relationship that was meant to be. We are of this Earth and she is of us, okay? This is so powerful. Yes, the astronauts actually started the active death process. Exactly. Which is what seals do. Yes, watch the rest on replay, Becky. Thank you. The Timeline class has been nothing short of transformative. Thank you, David, for saying so. So I want to say one other thing. We had two suns. One was destroyed. And when one was destroyed, the solar feminine principles diverted to the moon. They got diverted to the moon. But this was not a natural organic process. They got warped. And when they got warped, and anytime we are working with something that warps the original divine organic template for being, it automatically devolves to base 10 mechanics, which is artificial. Looks human, feels human, sounds human, is not human, is actually anti-human, is anti-life, okay? This happened to be anti-female as well. When these energies got diverted, the true feminine principles got warped, diverted to the moon. This was a destructive process, creating destructive ideologies that women were somehow evil. Okay, when you look at Old Testament, okay, Lilith, okay, that is a true representation of the distorted female principle. And in the Old Testament, you know, Lilith, who refused to play nice with Adam, right, is one way to say it, refused to play nice as a woman, okay? She was seen as evil. She, in some traditions, she's seen as a vampire, okay, a succubus, okay? This is our fall from grace as women, or at least one representation of it, okay? That is significant. A lot of moon-based rituals that started in black magic or voodoo, okay, where there's blood involved, and the blood, you know, got associated with menstruation cycles, and then that was seen as evil or dirty or filthy, right? This is our lineage as women. Are you kidding me? This is terrible, okay? So a lot of destructive ideologies have come from this. This is from distorted base 10 principles. This is from warping the true organic, Sophianic, risen Christ female template, diverting that energy into base 10 mechanics, putting it into the moon, which was seen as secondary and not equal. Of course, we're going to be seen as lesser than. Of course, we're going to devolve from who we are. Is this deliberate? Partially, not entirely. But it doesn't change the fact that this has been our lineage here for thousands of years on this planet. Destructive, distorted ideologies. Women disconnected from their natural spiritual biology. Okay? And it's not just females that suffer from this. Because even though they're engendered principles, meaning you are a female, you identify as female, men who identify as male are going to be feeling these destructive ideologies too. Because of our interactions with each other. Because we mate with each other. Because we procreate the progeny for this planet with each other. How are men not going to be affected by this? And men, you know, create from a manifestation template that women do too. We're all creating from the same manifestation template. And if we don't have the principles of masculine and feminine integrity within us, it doesn't matter if you're male or female and how you identify gender-wise, you're going to feel the destructiveness of this. You're going to feel the breakdown, the deterioration of who we are in our spiritual biology, okay? Our engendered soul expression has been tampered with for male and female, okay? So this is really a massive correction. It's a massive reckoning. And it's very, very powerful. This is a massive upgrade. So I want to give you guys a sense of this, okay? I've been talking for a while here now, so 45 minutes. So we're going to spend, if you guys want to jump off, that's okay, because this is going to be available as a replay, but I'm going to spend the next 20 minutes bringing this energy in, because I'm being told to stop talking now and make this more of a visceral, cerebral experience for you. You're going to feel this in your bodies. So I want you to drink some water, please. And if you're going to stick around, we're probably going to go for another 20 minutes here, okay? Okay. So get yourselves comfortable and, you know, maybe make sure you're not going to be disturbed for the next 20 minutes or so. It's the feminine power of creation of all types that has been a focus of control. Yes. Absolutely, Pamela. I've always focused on Gaia instead of the moon, but this is its own bag of tricks as well. I don't relate to the moon anymore and actually felt forced to do so. I tune into my own frequency. Yep. Yep, ancient DNA coming up. Absolutely. Although there's been a lure to connect to the moon with all the priestess moon goddess, they say, I can't read that full comment, but I want to. I'm going to try to get to the comments later because I can't read them all right now. I'm sorry. So just go ahead and get yourself comfortable. You can be laying down. You can be seated. It really is entirely up to you. Thanks, Meredith, for watching. Incorrect archetypes of being. Absolutely, David. Symbiotic, exactly like human mothers and their babies when babies are separated from their mothers. Yes, Pamela. So I know this is a lot to take in, but I want you to just kind of just shake it off. Just shake it off, especially if this information makes you rev really high, okay? It makes you feel like, yee. I want you to just kind of shake it off, okay? Just take a couple deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. No wonder I'm ready for cosmic cocktails the next time around. And some of you may feel like you're yawning or you're burping here. That's good, because you're releasing some of this baggage that has kept these old paradigms, these old structures self-evident within you, okay, as truth. So now's the time for releasing that. So if you're burping or you're yawning, or something else to release, it's okay. It's totally normal. Totally normal. Okay, so deep breath in and out. All you have to do here is just listen to my voice. I'm an excellent guide. You are very, very well protected in taking in this knowledge. Whenever I bring this level of knowledge to you, I am working with the highest benevolent team of guides to guide this information, to protect this space. This space I've created is unfuckable with, pardon my French, okay? I am stalwart when it comes to protecting the space when I bring this information to you guys. That includes, you know, when we move into the space of going into an activation, some of us feel vulnerable. Some of us feel like, you know, we're open. Not when you work with me, you're not. I take a lot of pains to put safeguards in place to make sure we are protected and well guided in this space. As we bring this information in, believe me, from those benevolent founder races, your guides, your galactic team, who already know and embrace and are happy that you're embracing this as truth, they are guiding and supporting and protecting this process. So please know that, okay? All right. Go ahead and close your eyes. You don't have to do anything except listen to the sound of my voice. Don't worry, I'll guide you and I will get you there. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Another deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you exhale, I want you to feel a wave or a wash of clean, pure energy from the top of the head. It's going down through the body, just kind of doing a nice sweep of any energetic debris, anything that feels heavy, dense, tight, or tense is just being swept away. And now I want you to call in God Self, 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 God Self. And we do that 9 times, 3 sets of 3, because 9 is a completion number. And we've completed that shift into moving into our sovereign God Self aspect. This vantage point of who you are, the objective observer of you, rather than the subjective observer of you. And just feel this aspect take hold. Call any and all fragments, fractionated aspects of self, where you're exploring contrast in other timelines, space, time, dimensions, or realities, calling in all these parts and pieces of you back into your now dominant timeline. Asking any energetic carryover potentials of these other timelines that you've been exploring to come into this now dominant timeline and fund the work we are here to do in this moment, in this time now, in this timeline now. And so it is. and activating the 12D crystalline diamond light above. You can see this as a halo or sphere of energy just above the top of the head. And allowing this light to come and wash you clean through like a spiritual power wash from head to toe, taking all this energy, cleansing it, taking it down through all the layers of the earth, through dirt and rock and crystal, and taking this down to the crystalline core of Mother Earth. And saying, I am grounded, I am grounded, I am grounded. And now activating the pranic breath, breathing from above and below simultaneously as you inhale and then exhale that energy into the heart and out from the heart. And then breathing from above that crystalline diamond light and below the crystalline core simultaneously as you inhale. Again, activating the pranic breath and breathing out from the heart space as you exhale. And one final time, breathing from above and below simultaneously and exhaling out. As you exhale out, imagine sending your beautiful, divine, cleansed energy 360 degrees out from you, as far out as you can imagine. Taking another deep breath in, centering your energy in the middle of your heart space. I want you to imagine the sacred geometry of a 12-pointed Merkaba generating from your heart space and gradually building out, expanding out, 12-pointed star that holds your energy matrix in full integrity, meaning it can never be tampered with, messed with, played with by anyone else but you and your sovereign aspect of self. Expand this out until it expands past your physical being, till it expands out as far out as you cast your heart energy out through all 12-dimensional time, space realities, 12 densities, and further out than that if need be or if guided to be, and so it is. You are fully protected and supported in this space. Imagine this 12-pointed Merkaba as your personal starship of navigation, helping you to navigate through any and all timelines that we are merging here, that are necessary to merge into this now dominant timeline shift, allowing you to work with these timelines in full integrity and with the base 12 mechanics of Ascension in its full organic original template, working with the spiritual biology of you in full integrity without distortion. You can give this Merkaba your color, seeing a lot of blue and a lot of red. You can fill it in with things, nature scenes, your spirit animals, whatever you want to do, your spirit guides, your galactic team. This is your space, make it yours. And in this space, we ask to make conscious connection with this now dominant timeline, this frequency jump that has shifted the entire planet into the next harmonic octave of Ascension awareness. We ask to make connection with the sonic template. And so here some of you may hear a sound, you may hear a tone, you may hear the Om, you may even hear entities, angels, singing, toning. You may feel the need to tone in your throat. Know that whatever you are guided here to do, you are guided in full integrity, full support, full protection. You are making full connection with true heart-based and higher heart-based love for all sentient life, on this planet, within and without, all plant, animal, microbiome, life, microspecies, entities and beings, simultaneously bringing in forgiveness of self for any time, anywhere we haven't been able to do this before. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Opening up your heart in full gratitude for this space, for this conscious connection, for opening up to our true divine destiny, to a true spiritual work of the higher initiate that you are. In gratitude for finding the truth, the true essence of who you are, in the balance of the sacred marriage, in the balance of the full integrity of the biological engendered principles of solar feminine, solar masculine. In gratitude for this harmonic convergence and upgrade now for the entire planet. Liberation from the devolved self. Liberation from the lunar distorted principles no longer held in place by the lunar woman, the shadow body mother principle, the dark mother. Bringing back the divine balance to the Christos Sophia template, the Heroes Gamos manifestation template. Allowing ourselves to know, feel, sense this harmonic octave, this next harmonic octave taking hold in the silicate matrix, and asking to transmute this into the physical so that it is known through our 5 senses. And asking in this space for any messages that are coming in from this reuniting of the solar feminine Christ, this returning of the solar feminine Christ. What level of gnosis is being brought in for you specifically here? We ask that individually this resonate in this space for all who are asking. I'm just going to be quiet for a moment as we celebrate this energy, resonate in this energy, and call in any and all messages for us now. Umate, umate, umate. Umate, umate, umate. Umate, umate, umate. No está nesse umate. And just letting this feeling of completeness, of balance, to wash over the entirety of your physical being. Let it wash through all morphogenetic fields within and without the body. Bringing in the divine mother. Returning her song to our heart. Returning her vibration and integrity to all we create, all we procreate, who we procreate, what we endeavor to do, allowing her to infiltrate our ideas, our imagination, our creativity, our thought forms, our beliefs, letting her energy and her song filter through all that we have been, all that we are, correcting all distorted timelines that we recognize as past timelines, parallel realities, allowing this to be cleansed through all time, throughout the universal time matrix, and all timelines held in integrity with that matrix, now being brought in to the frequency of this song, this sonic template, correcting all distortions now and that have ever been, resonating throughout 7 generations behind, 7 generations forward in time. Merging all timeline potentials where the holographic insert of the divine feminine, the solar feminine sun, haven't been allowed to infiltrate our energy, merging these timelines, these energetic potentials in now. Any energetic carryover potentials that have not been used before, that are in integrity with the base 12 mechanics and organic template of creation, merging this now. So it is. And just letting this resonate within you. You might be doing some releasing here. That's okay. You're making room for this energy to take hold. Whatever you feel you are releasing here, know that you are bringing in equal time. And right on the heels of this release, this new harmonic sonic template, this harmonic convergence is taking hold. There is no energetic void here. There is only a refiltering. A reuniting, reorganization. We ask that all this information, this gnosis, this wisdom, this upgraded sonic vibration and harmonic octave be brought in the highest and best timeline for all involved here watching live or in the replay. In the highest and best timeline for their convergence in the physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional fields without going into any spiritual, emotional, physical, or mental crisis. And so it is, and blessed be. Just taking a deep breath in here. You may feel very warm. You may feel like a pot of boiling water here. Ask that you be brought back to simmer. And as you take a deep breath in, I want you to imagine pulling your 12-pointed star ship of navigation, your 12-pointed Merkaba. Inhaling and pulling this back into your heart space and collapsing this back into the heart. And anywhere you've sent your heart energy out into time, space, dimensional realities, pulling that back in on an inhale, collapsing that back into the heart. And on this final inhale, collapsing the 12D crystal and diamond light from above, collapsing this down through the body, taking this clean through the body, out through the soles of the feet, down through all the layers of the earth, into the crystalline core of the earth, and saying, I am grounded, I am grounded, I am grounded. Inhale and exhale. And when this energy feels complete, go ahead and open your eyes. All right, everybody. How are we doing? You are going to want to drink a bunch of water after this. This is a lot of purification and upgrading energy. So we really put your cells to work here, okay? And all the structures and systems of the body, the fascia of the body too. So you're going to want to stretch. And in fact, you may want to just go ahead and stretch right now. So your fascia is an ascension transmitter, and it brings in a lot of energies that are very big, bold, vibrant energies, and the fascia works very hard to transmute these energies so that you can accept them in the physical. So you may find that you need to do maybe an extra little bit of yoga today, or just some stretching. Downward dog is a great way to stretch the body. If that's too much for you, it's too much for your shoulders, you can just do some hip swirls, because we're working with a lot of sacral energy here. So, and this is for men and women, okay? So you can just kind of do a little belly dancing today. Just kind of sway and move the hips. Do some wall stretches. If you've got an impingement or something, you obviously don't want to go full bore with your stretching. But wall stretching can be good for some of you who, don't really feel too loosey-goosey in your body right now, okay? Those of you who have a Healy at home, I recommend running the connective tissue Healy app. That's a good one. What else? If you have the Healy app, just doing the bioenergetic balance with the Healy resonance, if you have that, is also great. Bioenergetic balance 1 and 2. I hope this has really been enlightening and enlivening for you guys. I hope that you are feeling good and you're feeling grounded. Get outside, feel the sun on your face. I know for some of you who are watching, it's already late. You can still do it tomorrow. When you get up, thank you, Svetlana. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Pamela. Thanks, Tina, Kristen, all of you who are here to watch live. How nice to have you here. Your energy directly contributed to anchoring this for yourselves and for the planet, for each other. It's this unity consciousness, folks. We're here for each other. Thank you, Danielle. If you have questions, you can go ahead and throw them here in the comments. If you want to watch this again or receive this activation again, you certainly can. I'm going to be uploading it on my YouTube channel right after this. I mentioned Timelines Expanded Masterclass. We're starting in about a month, just over 4 weeks, and the early bird pricing expires on the 1st of January. So if you want to get in this program and really go down the rabbit hole with me with timelines, this is what I do, folks. This is my wheelhouse. No one teaches a course like this. How do I know? Because I looked for it and it wasn't there, so I created it. So thank you so much, you guys. Oh, I have so much love in my heart for all of you who come and do this work with me, because I share it out of love, and I hope you guys feel that when I do share this work. And I have so much love and appreciation for you. Mad, mad love. Love and peace, guys. Bye-bye.